Marine veteran Tony Rodriguez started working as the bodyguard for federal Judge Harrison's family in New York. The $120,000 salary and high-profile protection duty seemed like the pinnacle of his career. But when the judge took on an organized crime case, the Mafia family decided to retaliate, and Tony's protected family became the target. He launched a family safe-house defense operation together with the FBI Organized Crime Task Force. Tony Rodriguez had always believed in justice and the rule of law. Growing up in the Bronx, he witnessed how crime and violence destroyed communities, while dedicated law enforcement officers and judges fought to maintain order and protect innocent people. At 18, Tony enlisted in the Marines, where he served for 18 years as a military police officer and close protection specialist. His assignments included protecting high-ranking military officials in Iraq and Afghanistan, where he learned advanced security protocols, threat assessment, and defensive tactics. Protection work isn't just about stopping bullets, his Marine Corps instructor taught him. It's about thinking 3 steps ahead of people who want to hurt your principal. After retiring from the Marines in 2022 as a gunnery sergeant, Tony struggled to find civilian work that matched his specialized skills and sense of purpose. At 40, he was living in a small Queens apartment, working mall security for $18 an hour while supporting his wife Carmen and their teenage daughter Sophia. "I protected generals in war zones," Tony often told Carmen during their difficult financial discussions. "There has to be better work for someone with my experience." Carmen, a school administrator, was understanding but worried about their family's future. Sophia was a junior in high school with college aspirations that seemed increasingly unaffordable on their current income. "Something will come up," Carmen assured him. "Your military background and protection experience have to be valuable to someone." The opportunity came in March 2024 through a referral from Tony's former Marine colleague who worked in private security. Elite Judicial Protection Services was seeking experienced bodyguards to protect federal judges and their families who faced credible threats. "Tony, your military police background is exactly what we need," explained company director Michael Thompson during their initial phone call. "We specialize in protecting federal judiciary from organized crime threats." Elite Judicial Protection Services had contracts with the U.S. Marshals Service to provide supplemental protection for federal judges whose cases attracted dangerous attention. The work was serious, well compensated, and aligned perfectly with Tony's skills and values. "We're not just bodyguards," Thompson explained during Tony's interview at their Manhattan office. "We're guardians of the justice system itself." The position offered $120,000 annually, more than triple Tony's current income. His responsibilities would include protecting Judge Harrison's family during a high-profile organized crime trial that had attracted threats from the Torrino crime family. "Judge Harrison is prosecuting the biggest organized crime case in New York in 20 years, Thompson briefed Tony. "The Torrinos have a history of intimidating witnesses, jurors, and even judges. This is serious work requiring serious people." Federal Judge William Harrison was a 58-year-old jurist with an impeccable reputation for integrity and courage. He'd been assigned the prosecution of Vincent "Vince the Skull" Torrino, alleged head of one of New York's most violent crime families. "I need someone to protect what matters most to me," Judge Harrison told Tony during their initial meeting. "My wife Margaret and our twin 16-year-old daughters, Emma and Sarah. If the Torrinos want to pressure me, they'll target my family." Judge Harrison lived in an upscale neighborhood in Westchester County, about 45 minutes from Manhattan. His wife Margaret was a retired teacher, and their daughters attended private school in nearby Scarsdale. The family seemed normal and loving, exactly the kind of people Tony had joined the Marines to protect. "We've never needed security before," Margaret Harrison told Tony during his first day. "This whole situation is terrifying, but having you here makes us feel safer." Tony began his protection duties on April 1, 2024. His routine included escorting the family to school, work, and social activities while maintaining constant vigilance for potential threats. The Torrino family had a reputation for violence and intimidation that made every outing potentially dangerous. The The work was challenging but fulfilling. Tony's military training helped him identify potential threats, plan secure routes, and coordinate with local law enforcement. More importantly, he developed genuine care for the Harrison family, who treated him with respect and appreciation. Mafia. "You're not just our bodyguard," Judge Harrison often told Tony. "You're our guardian angel." For 6 weeks, everything proceeded smoothly. The Torrino trial began in federal court, with Judge Harrison presiding over complex racketeering charges that could result in life sentences for multiple defendants. Tony maintained security protocols while the family tried to maintain normal routines. But on May 15, 2024, everything changed when the prosecution introduced devastating evidence against the Torrino organization. FBI wiretaps revealed Vincent Torrino personally ordering murders, drug trafficking operations, and witness intimidation. The evidence was so compelling that defense attorneys began discussing plea bargains to avoid certain conviction. "This could destroy our entire organization," Torrino was recorded saying. "We need to send a message about what happens to judges who don't show respect." That evening, Tony received an urgent call from FBI Special Agent Lisa Chen, who was monitoring organized crime communications. "Mr. Rodriguez, we've intercepted communications indicating the Torrino family is planning retaliation against Judge Harrison's family. You need to implement maximum security protocols immediately." The threat was specific and credible. FBI intelligence indicated that Torrino soldiers were planning to kidnap Judge Harrison's daughters to pressure him into declaring a mistrial or dismissing charges. They believe that if they threaten his family, Judge Harrison will cave to pressure, Agent Chen explained. "We need to move the family to a secure location while we investigate the threat." Tony immediately activated emergency protocols, relocating the Harrison family to a safe house in rural New Jersey, while federal agents worked to identify and arrest the threatening parties. The safe house was a fortified compound used by the Witness Protection Program, with advanced security systems, armed guards, and communication equipment. But Tony knew that if the Torrino family was determined to reach the Harrisons, they had the resources and connections to find any location. "How long do we have to stay here?" Emma Harrison asked her father during their first night in protective custody. "Until the people who want to hurt us are caught," Judge Harrison replied, trying to remain calm while his family's life was disrupted by criminal threats. But the Torrino family had more resources and determination than anyone anticipated. On May 18th, Tony discovered surveillance teams watching the safe house perimeter. Professional criminals were conducting reconnaissance, planning an assault on what was supposed to be an impenetrable federal facility. "Agent Chen, we have a problem," Tony reported via secure communication. "The safe house has been compromised. They've found us." The FBI's response was immediate but sobering. The Torrino family had corrupted federal employees to obtain information about witness protection locations. The safe house that was supposed to protect the Harrison family had become a trap. "We're moving you to a secondary location," Agent Chen informed Tony. "But transport will take 6 hours to arrange. You need to hold the current position until then." Tony realized he was facing the most dangerous situation of his military and civilian career. Professional criminals were planning to assault a federal safe house to kidnap a judge's family, and he was the primary obstacle standing in their way. "Mrs. Harrison, I need you and the girls to go to the panic room immediately," Tony instructed. "This situation is about to become very dangerous." The assault began at 2 a.m. with professional precision. Multiple teams approached the safe house from different directions, using sophisticated equipment and tactical coordination that suggested military training. Tony's Marine Corps experience immediately recognized the threat level. These weren't street criminals. They were professional soldiers working for the Torrino family, possibly including corrupt federal agents or foreign mercenaries. "Federal agents under attack," Tony radioed as automatic weapons fire erupted around the safe house. "Multiple hostiles, professional assault, requesting immediate backup." The battle for the Harrison family's lives began with Tony as their sole protector against overwhelming odds. Using his military training, Tony established defensive positions throughout the safe house while coordinating with FBI tactical teams racing to the location. His Marine Corps experience in Iraq and Afghanistan had prepared him for exactly this type of asymmetric warfare. "Stay in the panic room," Tony shouted to the Harrison family as bullets shattered windows and explosive devices breached the outer perimeter. Tony systematically defended each level of the safe house, using military tactics to channel the attackers into kill zones while protecting the family's location. His knowledge of the building's layout and defensive capabilities gave him crucial advantages against numerically superior forces. The firefight lasted 45 minutes before FBI hostage rescue team helicopters arrived. Tony had successfully held off the assault, killing 3 attackers and wounding several others while keeping the Harrison family completely safe. "Family secure," Tony reported as federal tactical teams secured the perimeter. "All principals unharmed." The assault on the federal safe house made national headlines and triggered a massive FBI investigation. The Torrino family had attempted to kidnap a federal judge's family using military-grade equipment and tactics, an unprecedented attack on the American judicial system. This was an act of war against American justice, FBI Director Christopher Wray announced at a press conference. The courage of Marine veteran Tony Rodriguez saved not just the Harrison family, but the integrity of our entire legal system. The investigation revealed that the Torrino family had hired former military contractors and corrupt federal employees to locate and assault the safe house. The conspiracy included multiple felonies and represented the most serious attack on federal judiciary in modern history. Tony's defense of the safe house led to the arrest of 15 people, including Vincent Torrino himself, who was charged with domestic terrorism in addition to his original racketeering charges. Tony Rodriguez demonstrated extraordinary courage under fire, Judge Harrison said at a ceremony honoring his bodyguard. "He didn't just protect my family. He protected the principle that justice cannot be intimidated." Tony received the FBI's Medal of Exceptional Courage and the Department of Justice's Award for Distinguished Service. More importantly, his actions ensured that the Torrino trial continued without interruption, resulting in life sentences for multiple organized crime figures. The Harrison family returned to normal life after the trial, but they maintained a close relationship with Tony, who had risked his life to protect them. "You're not just our former bodyguard," Margaret Harrison often tells Tony. "You're family forever." Tony now works as a consultant for the U.S. Marshal Service, training other protection specialists in defending against organized crime threats. His experience with the Harrison family made him an expert in judicial security and organized crime tactics. The lesson, Tony reflects, is that criminals will attack the foundations of our justice system when they think they can get away with it, but they underestimate the courage of people who believe in law and order. Today, Tony trains federal agents and private security personnel in advanced protection techniques, using his military experience in the Harrison case as examples of how dedication and courage can defeat even the most sophisticated criminal threats. The Torrino family was completely dismantled following their attack on the safe house. Vincent Torrino died in federal prison, and his organization was destroyed by subsequent prosecutions. Sometimes protecting one family means protecting the entire system of justice, Tony often tells his trainees. When criminals attack judges and their families, they're attacking the rule of law itself. Judge Harrison continues serving on the federal bench, now with enhanced security protocols developed partly from Tony's recommendations. The Judicial Protection Program was completely reformed following the safe house assault. What Tony did wasn't just brave, Judge Harrison reflects. It was essential for maintaining the principle that justice cannot be bought, intimidated, or corrupted. Tony's military training had prepared him for combat, but the Harrison case taught him that some battles are fought not on foreign battlefields, but in defense of American institutions and values. The most important fights happen when criminals think they can destroy what makes America work, Tony says. That's when Marines like me prove that some things are worth dying for. The Safe House defense became a case study in federal law enforcement training, demonstrating how individual courage and proper tactics can defeat organized crime threats against the justice system. Carmen and Sofia Rodriguez are proud of Tony's heroism and the recognition he received. Sofia, now in college on scholarship funded by Judge Harrison, plans to study criminal justice and follow her father's example of public service. "My dad showed me that heroes aren't just in movies," Sofia often says. "Sometimes they're Marines who refuse to let bad people win." Tony's story proves that military veterans continue serving their country long after leaving active duty, and that the values learned in service courage, integrity, and dedication to mission can defeat any enemy of American justice. Tony Rodriguez's bodyguard assignment became a battle that saved both a family and the integrity of America's judicial system. His military training and moral courage enabled him to single-handedly defeat a professional assault by organized crime forces trying to intimidate a federal judge. The case proved that when criminals attack the foundations of American justice, they face veterans willing to fight and die to protect the rule of law. Tony's heroic defense became a landmark victory that strengthened judicial security and demonstrated that American values are defended by warriors who never stop serving their country.